Okay, here's my idea for a Kruleboyz list. Oh my god, the points came down so much. I'm still like reserving my judgment, and I'm really waiting until I have the official points release, hopefully this weekend, before I'm really committed to locking down any lists, because we don't really know what manifestations or enhancements or things are going to cost. And while people are pretty much convinced and sure that things are what people say they are, I'm still going to wait until we have all the points for sure to know exactly what's going on. So let's take a look. But first, thanks to all the patrons. Wow. Okay, good. Okay, so here's the list. Okay, so it's a 3-drop list. There's 3 regiments. Over here, your first regiment is, of course, our new Swamp Boss Scumdreck that has a unit of Reinforced Gut Rippers hanging out, and then a Breakaboss with a unit of Reinforced Gut Rippers hanging out. The Breakaboss has Egomaniac, and the Breakaboss also has our new monstrous trait, which of course is Soggy Kruleboyz, which of course is Mavine. So we're just going to add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made with this companion weapon. And then our artifact of power is going to the leader of our second regiment, a Swamp Kala Shaman with the staff. I think the Swamp Kala Shaman is going to be very good because we're going to be giving +1 to save to some bricks of Gut Rippers and 3 units of Monster Killers hanging out. The points came down enough that you can fit literally a whole extra unit of Monster Killers in this list. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy how much points it came down. This is let's see, I can just I'll just show you really quick, why not? But this is something that people have been showing around in Discord. Oh, I don't have a thing for OBS set up for that. Never mind. But it's like, just, it went down so many points. It's kind of insane, right? So here's here's the Swamp Kala. And then over here we of course have the new Soggy Nashtooth, who's going to be teleporting around on the outside. A Merknob with Belchabana, who's only 80 points now. Like, isn't that just dumb? And the Merknob's primary job is going to be, looks like these are broken. Uh-oh, I'll have to get new ones. Looks the Merknob's primary job is going to be sitting inside the Scaregob totem. This is going to make it have a nice 18-inch or whatever 12-inch aura of a 6-up ward. But more importantly, it's going to have it's just going to have somebody sitting inside of it to extend that 18-inch range for our dirty tricks. So we're going to take our tower and we're going to set it up pretty aggressively. Is how we're going to want to set this up. Depending on the matchup or whatever, it's going to, you know, dictate sort of what we're doing here. But it's got to be what, three away from other pieces of whatever of things of terrain. But depending on our matchup, I'm going to want to place it pretty aggressively. So I'm going to want it somewhere either in this spot here or maybe over here in this spot, depending on what our opponent is, what we're predicting our opponent to be doing. Yeah, this is probably fine. We're going to be filling up this choke point here anyway. Uh-oh. Daughter aggro. And we're back. And then over here on the right-hand side, again, we got Merknob. We got a Killbow, because I still think a Killbow is going to be sick. I still think it's going to be sick. And for 140 points, it's dirt cheap. Nashtooth to do its teleporty, hero killy shenanigans. And then, of course, the Marsh Crawler, because we're going to want to be... one thing, I think the Marsh Crawler is going to be pretty much necessary if you're going to be taking the Swamp Bullies, or whatever it's called. Swamp Horde Bullies, because you need to have multiple units in combat. So you need to enable that. You can't have a unit fail a charge, and then you can't get +1 to the attack characteristic, right? Like, that can't happen, or else it'll really mess up your plan. So you need to be able to, like, spend a command point to auto run 6, move those Gut Rippers or those Monster Killers 11 inches, and then charge them in. Like, that's going to be necessary. So I think that either Kragnos or a Marsh Crawler, or having like a bunch of Vultures or something, I think is going to be necessary for this army. Battle tactics with this list, I'm thinking Master the Path, It's a lot harder with Kruleboyz because we're lacking a lot of like fast cavalry units and like really aggressive. Like we want to play castle-y, and I don't think that these battle tactics really favor castle-y armies. So Master the Paths, we have to kill a hero. So hopefully the kill bow is something that's going to help us with this if they have any monster heroes. And also hopefully the Gnash Tooth is something that can help us with this. We also just deal a lot of mortal wounds, right? We do have like quite a few tools at our disposal here, but we're gonna have to work for this to be able to get this. Seize the Path. If there are more friendly units in neutral territory than enemy units, or if there's no neutral territory that we just have, there's nothing in friendly territory. So if we look at this battle plan that we're on right now, by the way, this is all up on TTS. Awesome. We need to keep them on their half of the map. Again, we need the marsh crawler so we can like run in charge and get into combat. But I think that what we're really going to try to do is just like kill them, right? We're going to try to throw lots of mortal wounds, and we're just going to try to like kill our opponent. So, but it's not as easy. Tactics are not as easy for Kruleboyz as they are for Ironjawz, let's say. And then we need 3 different friendly units, wholly within 9 of a different corner of the battlefield. Only 1 can be within friendly territory, and only 1 can be set up this turn. So we're going to enable this in turn like 4 or 5 with sneaking, right? Because we can set up over in this corner. We can set up over in this corner off of terrain, and we're going to set up over in this corner. And only 1 can be set up this turn. But it shouldn't be that difficult to do, especially with the Gnash Tooth, right? With the Gnash Tooth, we don't need a roll. We can just, like, wherever the last one needs to go, we can set it up, or we can teleport the Gnash Tooth and sneak a unit of monster killers somewhere, or we can sneak a Merc Knob because he can be snuck, or we can sneak a Swamp Collar, right? He can be snuck, or we can sneak the remnants of 10 or less. Gut Rip is like, there's lots of options. But the Gnash Tooth is going to help us with that as well. So that's how we're going to be able to get this one done. And then the second battle tactic that I think that we're going to be taking is going to be Restless Energy. You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if you control an objective that was controlled by your opponent at the start of the turn. We're going to be going first quite a bit, right? All the 2-drop lists go before us, and all the 3-drop lists we roll off against. So I have a feeling that, like, you'll probably play 2-drop lists like 30% of the time is just a wild estimation. And then you'll be playing against like 4 or 5-drop lists 10% of the time, which means roughly 50, somewhere between 40 to 60% of the time, like roughly half of the time, you'll be rolling off, which means you'll be going first like 65% of the time or something like that. Right? So, yeah, like whatever. Taking an objective from our opponent is not the hardest thing to do. The second one, if you control every objective within enemy territory, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be tough. Like, we're gonna have to rely, like I said, like on sneaking and Gnash Tooth and tabling our opponent. It's not gonna be very easy. But I think we can do it. Let me know if you agree with those picks. In the comments or in Discord or somewhere. Anyway, so the Break a Boss has Egomaniac. So we don't want to kill the Gut Rippers. What we want to be killing are the... Oh, this boss rock is like in the way. I don't know where to put it, dude. It's tricky. Like, the boss rock tower... The boss rock tower has a range of 18 inches when it has a unit inside, which is gigantic. Anything that touches this, we get... Oh, sorry, that's the wrong... It's on 130. What is it? Is it a straight 100? Base. Yeah. Everything that touches this circle, we get +1 to make it strike last. Right? So I guess we kind of have to pick where we want to be. Right? Do we want to be over here on this side? Because we can't also just be like right in the way. We also need to be 3 away from our terrain. right? So it's like, let's assume this is the bottom of it. So that's probably fine, right? Like whatever, it's pretty fine. So do we want to be over here? Or do we want to be somewhere like over here instead? We can't really get far enough to be reaching out and touching over there. So we'll probably stick it right here. This Break-a-Boss has Egomaniac. And it also has our whatever plus to hit. So we want to try to keep a unit of monster killers around. We don't want to be passing off wounds to the gut rippers. We want to be preserving the gut rippers. We don't want to be passing off wounds to the gut rippers. Let's say that this... Oh, is there two? Because... Whatever, it doesn't matter. Scumdret can't get obscuring, right? But this unit of gut rippers can. So we're going to try to take him up onto this objective here. So that this would be like drop number 1. I think that dropping our main bricks might be okay. It also might be better to drop something like this. I kind of want to drop the kill bow last. So our second drop is going to be the Swampcalla Shaman. The Swampcalla Shaman is going to hang out with the gut rippers. We want to be giving +1 save, right? That's what we want to be doing. We want to be giving +1 save, and we want to be casting our Mork +1 to save spell. So the Swampcalla Shaman is going to try to be wholly within 12 of our frontliners here to do what he needs to do. We're going to stick 1 unit of monster killers sort of by the Break-a-Boss so that he can pass off wounds to the unit of monster killers. 1 unit of monster killers is obviously going to be over here on this objective touching. This is going to be a unit that if it needs to be snuck, we're going to sneak this unit here. And then I don't know where this other unit goes. We kind of want to pile up a bunch of stuff in all together because again, we want everything to be fighting. Yeah, I mean, like, still thinking about tactics here. Which was the other one? It was this one, right? Wrathful Cycle. If you control more objectives than your opponent, if we're going first, this is a really easy one to get early. But then it's like we have to be the underdog. So it's like if we're going first and we're getting more objectives than our opponent, we have to be the underdog going into round 2, which might be the right play for Kruleboyz. We might want to play for the underdog. I don't know. We'll have to see. But it's like almost everything in our list is melee, and lots of things are going to be in combat. So this second one is going to be very easy to get. And then each large quarter of the battlefield, you control more objectives, and there's no enemy units contesting any objective that you control. So this is like, on this battle plan, it would be control 3 and have nobody contesting what we control. So this is totally reasonable. It's just this underdog thing that I'm unsure of. So like, I think Restless Energy is the way to go. And then it's either going to be... Yeah, I don't want to retreat. It's just not what Kruleboyz want to do. So it's like, are we killing a hero? I don't know. We're going to need to play test some games here to really see, right? But yeah, like, this is kind of roughly what I'm thinking for this. And then, yep, the Merc Knob, we're just going to stick him within 3 of the Boss Rock Tower, because he's just going to jump into the Boss Rock Tower. He's also going to give his 12-inch aura. Like, if we take the Boss Rock, can we give it 2 auras? I wonder if we can. Probably not. But, I know what we can do, though. Because the aura is going to be 12 inches. So if we take the Merc Knob, and instead we just we tell this that its base size is 100 instead, and it's just 12-inch aura. Right? Because look how much that increases the aura, right? And then if we just stick them like right in the middle of it, so it's roughly like the same base size. Something's not right here. Oh yeah, no. But you can see, right? Like, it's a 6-up ward aura, right? So it's going to cover like the middle of this battlefield. It's going to cover over here a little bit. So this is why TTS is great too, something seems off here though. Something doesn't seem right about this. But you get the point, right? He's going to have a nice aura, extend his aura a little bit for being within or on this Boss Rock Tower. So that's where he's going to go. He's going to just jump in the tower right away. The Nash Tooth doesn't matter where he goes. You can put him someplace misleading. You want him wholly within 6 inches of a battlefield edge so he can teleport around. Yeah, killing a hero is probably the way to go. I was just looking at tactics again, right? Like, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. it's gonna come down to like meta and playstyle. The Killbow is gonna go somewhere not obscuring, where he can shoot monsters. So wherever your opponent puts their monsters, you're gonna put your Killbow, and then you're gonna want to put your Marshcrawler someplace central like this, so that you're going to be able to get your runs and charges off. Things are packed tight. You're gonna have to practice this, like I'm gonna have to practice this, to make sure that everything that I can deploy everything. There's room enough for everything. Yeah. When you're putting stuff on the table, you can also, like, I've used like fake bases sometimes. Anyway, but he's gonna want to be within range. I don't know if this range marker is accurate or not anymore. I'd have to double check. But I know that he wants to be in a pretty central spot so that you can give those auras out, right? So the Merc Knob's gonna be like deployed here, right? Something like this. It's kind of what I'm thinking. Let me know what you think about what I've done here, because I'm trying to figure this out and learn to get better. But it's a lot of stuff, right? And it's a lot of stuff that slaps. These two units, and like we're trying not to send in both units of Gut Rippers at the same time, right? Whatever our opponent does, we need to like sort of send our things in like in waves, right? Because if we can send in a Break-a-Boss that has the +1 to hit, and a unit of Gut Rippers with venom encrusted weapons, and with the bullies, it's a lot of damage. Right? Scumdrek, yeah, he has a 12-inch aura too that we're gonna have to try to like keep our eye on as well. Like maybe this would be better if the Gut Rippers were on this side and he was over here, so that he's more central, so that he can give out his points if he needs to get our dirty tricks more in line, right? Yeah, I don't know about this deployment. It's feeling kind of janky. I don't know. Practice. We're gonna have to practice. Because yeah, like if he's in the middle, but we don't want to send in like all of it all at once if we can avoid it, right? Because we can only do ganging up and venom encrusted weapons on one unit at a time, and without both of those buffs, the Gut Rippers don't deal anywhere near as much damage. So over here, for example, if our opponent took something up here, I might try to like move the Monster Killers and move things up. Right, like move them like this, get the Marshcrawler up, get that run and charge, so I can maybe throw this up there, while the Break-a-Boss is gonna move up and run and charge, and you know, fight over here in the middle, right? If I can, getting stuff on the objective and fighting somewhere like this, right? The Monster Killers are gonna try to like stay within 3 inches, so I can use him for the thing. The Nashtooth is gonna be doing some teleport somewhere. Probably won't be sneaking on our... No, probably won't be doing any sneaking, right? So just like running up, taking stuff. Killbow's going to be moving and shooting, or just moving. Swamp Collar Shaman's going to be coming up and giving his +1 to save to something over here. Maybe each one gets +1 to save, right? They can be on a 4 and a 3. Yep. I mean, Kruleboyz are in a much better position than they were in the previous... battle or in the previous season, but they are still a very skill intensive army, and we're going to still have to do a lot of learning and a lot of practice if we really want to get good. But then yeah, if we win the fight in the middle, right, this is probably, I don't know, hopefully there's a monster here, right, in the Killbow. If there a monster can be just dealt with by the Monster Killers and a Killbow, right? Nashtooth also deals pretty decent damage. Like if I remember, let's just look at the info here. But oh, hold on, yeah, let's leave. But I'm just gonna delete this. A Nashtooth doesn't do a ton of damage. Right, doesn't do a ton of damage. What a Nashtooth really has for a hero is like almost like 0.19 health per 100 points is where it shines. It's more than Monster Killers, a little bit less than Gut Rippers, but it's the second most survivable thing in the army, especially for a hero. So it's gonna live, and it's fast. So setting it up somewhere is gonna be good. But yeah, this is kind of what I'm thinking right now for Kruleboyz. I think this list has everything that you need. 2 reinforced units of Gut Rippers, 2 really punchy heroes, the Swamp Collar Shaman that can move up into the battlefield instead of having to sit in the tower. We have a Merc Knob to sit in the tower and give an aura of a ward, which is good, right? Like in this situation, it's like these guys in the middle, maybe not the Break-a-Boss, right? But like these Gut Rippers would be benefiting from a 6-up ward, which is really nice. And maybe they would be +2 to save, which would be really nice. The Break-a-Boss has a 4-up ward kicking to this unit of monster killers. Those wards don't stack, right? Like if the Break-a-Boss has a 6-up ward, like the Egomaniac counts as a ward, right? It must, right? Egomaniac must say ward. Where are you, my friend, Egomaniac? Yeah, it has a ward of 4-up, so it doesn't get a 6-up ward, but it just has like a 4-up ward. Kicking off to this unit of monster killers. And then, yeah, we're going to try to score our tactics here, right? We could seize the center, but there's lots of maps where that's not really a thing, so... Anyway, let me know in the comments below what you think. What did I get wrong? What are you thinking differently for lists? Are you thinking of Gobsprak? That's something that I've thought about. I have a feeling I'm not going to play Gobsprak because I think the Shaman giving +2 to save is too good to pass up. So if you play Gobsprak, I think you also play a Shaman. But I'm really digging the new Nashtooth, especially if we have like a kill a hero tactic. And just for scoring, I think the Nashtooth is going to be really important. Like being in the 4 corners of the or the 4 edges, or the 4 large quarters of the battlefield, or being like taking our opponent's objectives, killing heroes, being a unit that can, if like later in the game our units are dying and we need to still use ganging up, you know, yeah, I think that he's good. So I'll probably, like, mobility is key, right? And we need some stuff that's a little bit faster. So yeah, let me know what you think. Join the Discord. Come talk to us. Like, subscribe. Wah.